everybody, this is the Wikstrand, and boy howdy, take a look at this poster. Doesn't this poster look like it contains a lot of excitement and fascinating thing is going to happen? I'm afraid I have some bad news for you. You see, this poster is the best thing about this entire movie. Oh dear, this is going to be a rough one, isn't it? Let's take a look at this absolute horror show from the late 50s. This is Terror from the year 5000. Florida lies this deserted island where we have these scientists. These scientists have these kind of time machine things sort of where they can receive items from the future. For instance, they got this cute little statue. The statue, by the way, is believed to be from the year 5200. That's pretty damn cool, I'd say. And they're kind of fascinated by these things. Wow, we can maybe communicate with the people of the future and maybe see what's going on over there. But we have this financier guy, I think at least he was the financier guy, who is a little bit suspicious of what's going on here and goes down to see what's going on. Things seem to get even more strange when they get messages in things they get from the future where it says, "Help us." What is going to happen? Now at this point I was still kind of curious of where was this movie going, because there were so many possibilities you could do. It was almost like a Tenet setup that you could have done, but then this baddie from the future shows up in this morph suit or a onesie or whatever it is that looks like some kind of a motion capture suit that Andy Serkis would be running around in Planet of the Apes or Lord of the Rings or something like that, and starts wrecking shit. Why is this creature here, and what does it want, and what has happened in the future that is so horrible that they need help from us in the past? That is essentially what this movie is, but it is also very lame and it's very slow, and nothing of the cool things that actually exist on the poster will ever happen in this movie, because we will never go to the year 5000 and see what actually happens over there. There's a lot of things that is not happening in this movie. There's just a bunch of people running around doing stuff, and special effects in this movie is basically people painting dots on the screen and hoping that we will be impressed by the damn thing. And they don't even have the courtesy of giving us some hokey 1950s bullshit sets or map painting and stuff like that we at least would have been interested to look at. Just looking at this deserted island off the coast of Florida isn't very interesting. I just think they did this poster so they could, in wrestling terminology, steal a house, aka getting enough people in the first week before word of mouth were spreading around that this movie is absolute garbage, so they could at least break even. Because there's a lot of things that they kind of want to do, and we kind of see where they were going with this one, but because they didn't have the talent or the money to do the cool things that they wanted to do, they gave us this instead, which also included an ending with a very rushed message that was so ham-fisted that they needed an entire factory of hams to ham-fisting this one in properly. And then I thought, what the fuck? That ending was so horrible that I said to myself, well, this couldn't possibly get any worse. And it didn't, because the movie was very short and then the movie was over. So thank God for that. The very short runtime and the cool concept saves this movie from absolute garbage. It's still bad, it's still garbage technically, but it's not as garbagey as it could have been. If you're interested in, hokey, forgotten sci-fi movies from the 1950s, there are more enjoyably bad movies to see than this, because this was just plain bad. It's difficult to properly rate a movie like Terror from the year 5000 because it is so outdated and it is so boring and it is so tedious and it's such a slog to get through. You also have to consider that this is a 70-year-old movie made on a shoestring budget with a very, very hokey message to it. And therefore, I have to give the movie at least 11 points because the concept was good and there were hints of a good movie here and there. And the fact is that I've seen so many movies that are even worse than this one was, but it was very, very bad and I hope I will never have to see it again. So I'll see you next time from Well So and So Reviewing Well, such and such. Thank you for watching. Thank you very much.